Hello and welcome to the Should You Buy for the Incubus. We're going to take a look at the mech, its hardpoints, its stats, its hitbox locations, based on the concept art, and whether or not you should buy it. Alright, well first off, we can just take a look at the mech here. It's very humanoid in shape. It's got the sort of model of carrying a gun in its hand for its arm-mounted weapon. Kind of like a Phoenix Hawk in that sense. But let's take a look at the mech. And to start off, we have the standard pack and the collector's pack and their prices. Now this is a light mech, so these are slightly reduced compared to normal. Normally these would be $20 for a standard pack and $40 for the collector's pack, but they are down to $15 and $30 respectively, as the lights are a little bit cheaper, which makes sense because they are less civil value in game and therefore easier to get in the future, so they should be a little bit cheaper in their packs. We have 3 standard variants in the standard pack, the 1, the 2, and the 3. And then also we have those plus the 1 special in the collector's pack, which has the 30% C-Bill boost. Mech bays to hold them, 30 days and 60 days of premium time respectively, and then various cockpit items, titles, and badges. The hero and reinforcement add-ons are only $10 compared to $15. And the hero is the Saber, while the reinforcements are the 4 and the 5. We'll take a look at those particular variants and see if they're pay to win, pay to optimize, or anything compared to their normal variants and also for other mechs that are within the game right now. The Ultimate Pack is just everything all together, nicely summed up for $50. This is again cheaper than typical because the individual components are cheaper as well. Again, it would be nice if these were, say, $5 off compared to the entirety, as it would, promote people to buy everything at once a little bit better. So if this was $45, that would have been kind of nice. But, oh well, moving on. Early adopter rewards if you purchase the pack before the end of the month, as we've just started June. You will get these various rewards, and the Incubus ships on September 21st, so the patch in September. We have some various cockpit items, we've got some patterns, some decals, a few new colors, and 6.5 million in-game currency in order to customize these guys a little bit. The Incubus, which if we saw it up there at the top, we just head back for it. It is a clan collection, so this is a clan mech. We'll pop back down to its stats here and line that up nicely. It is a 30-tonner, so pretty much near the top of the lights, just one step down from being sort of the biggest light. We've got 270XL engine as the base, but it is a battle mech because we can change our engine rating up to a max of 285. We do not have any jump jets on any of these things, as there are no, there are no ECM and no mask for any of these mechs. So they're ground bound, they don't have anything special about them, but they're just ground-bound mechs. But let's pop over to the Spreadsheet Warrior and take a look at how much space they're going to have. Now, you'd have to look at this on a computer screen at 1080p in order to actually see these things, but I'll read it all out for you. We have the Incubus at 30 tons, and for the engine type, you're going to take an XL. It's a clan. You're going to take an XL because their XLs are side torso safe for losing. You could lose one and still stay alive, so there's no reason to take a standard comparatively, and there's no lights that they can take. Because we have a max of 285, there's only really, I guess you could do other specific engine ratings if you wish, but there's sort of 3 breakpoints within that zone. We have the rating of 250, which gets you your 10 internal heat sinks within the engine, which are true double heat sinks. So that's great for your heat efficiency for a small mech. So I really don't see you using anything less than a 250 on this mech. Even with just 250 rating, your base speed is going to be 135 kilometers an hour before tweak. So I think that's more than enough speed. If you know what you're doing, you can make mechs like the Adder and the Kit Fox work that just barely break 100 kilometers an hour. At 135, all you're really adding to your abilities there is to be more reactionary than proactive. Where with something like the slower lights of the Adder, the Cougar, and things like that, you need to think about where the battle's going to be in 30 seconds and then head out to be ahead of it. with a faster light with some of the speeds you hit here from the 250, the 280, the 285. You can be reactive. You can be more like the piranhas and the Arctic cheetahs and go, "Ooh, I'm at a bad position, time to run away," sort of thing. So the 250 rating, 135 kilometers an hour, more than enough. 145.1 after tweak, which is pretty good boost of speed. We have the 280, which is the next big breakpoint. The 275 gets you that engine heatsink slot, but the 280 is the same weight and gets you a little bit faster. So why not take a 280 if you're taking a 275? That gets you 151.2 kph, and then if you want to go just 5 more points higher, it's another half ton. It gets you another 2.7 kilometers an hour. I don't really see the point of losing that half ton. I see it as more of like, yeah, you take a 280 or you take a 250. Like, one of these two is going to be my choice engine for this mech. Now, it is a clan mech. That means, and it's a battle mech, so that means we can choose our Endo and Pharaoh if we want them. And we definitely want them because that's weight savings, and also they're small. They're only 7 slots because they're clan. So we can take both of them without worries, and we can take large quantities of heat sinks without worrying about our available slots, as we do have 30. If this was equivalently for a Inner Sphere mech, they would only have around 14 slots. So we got lots of space to work with. The only really thing we're going to have to worry about for this particular mech is its tonnage, because it's going to have a small amount. It's relatively a small mech. So what do we have? We have, with the XL250, 10.53 pod space, with armor being maxed out. You can shave a little bit of this, though. As we pop back to the stats here, we see that the left arm for every variant is completely empty. So there can be some armor shavings there to probably get you a half ton-ish. Maybe a little bit off the head, maybe like a point or two off the legs, although it's a light, so you don't really want to strip too much there. But you can take the entirety of the left arm off, pretty much. And some of the variants you can do entirely torso, so you can take a little bit off the right arm as well. You could easily get this 10.5 to an 11 tons of pod space with the XL250. For the XL280, we get about 9.5 tons, and the XL285, we get about 8.5 to 9 tons. That would be our range of weight available to us. But now that we know what we're going to work with, let's pop back over to the stats and go through the various hardpoints. Now, these are battle mechs. We're going to look at them vertically. We're going to see what this particular mech has here, then move on to the next one and such. There's the first 3 mechs that are in the standard pack, then there's the reinforcements, and then there's the hero. These mechs are extremely similar in terms of their builds, and I see that there is going to be a lot of builds that are going to be extremely similar across all of these variants, and some that are just can be duplicated from variant to variant. So I actually didn't do much theory crafting for this one, as it's pretty straightforward. These mechs are fast skirmisher, striker kind of designs with a tiny bit of builds options available if you want to do more of a harassing long range sort of style. As one of the important parts of this, the builds for this, if you take a look at the hardpoint locations, we see that the torso mounts are extremely high, right at the top of the mech and right in line with the cockpit. So that's great for doing, say, ER large laser sniping with this, or ERPPC, or things like that. So we'll remember that aspect, and then we're going to talk about the different hardpoints we got here. So to first off, with the Incubus-1, we have a total of 4 energy. We have 1 in each side torso, 2 in the right arm, and then 4 ballistic, 2 in each side torso. So you can do, because you have about 11 tons or so, if you take the XL250, which is probably what I'm going to recommend on this one, you can do things like, oh man, you could even, theoretically, because you're using both torsos, you could try to squeeze in like dual PPC. It would be silly and really hot, because even a summoner that has like a ton of extra heat sinks can overheat with dual PPC, but it's jumping a lot and stuff like that. It's possible. Probably not recommended, but it's possible if you want to have some memes. A sniping build for this would be more like dual ER large lasers with some backup, say machine guns, to take care of things that get close. There's also the sort of designs of 4 medium pulse and 4 machine guns. They would be a little toasty and a little bit light on the ammo because you're losing 8 tons from the medium pulse, and then you're going to be losing a couple tons from the machine guns, and then you're already at 10 and you only have like 11 and a half tons at absolute maximum to get all of your ammo and stuff like that on there. So that's gonna be a little tight. Things like heavy lasers for, say, heavy mediums and some machine guns, that could work pretty well on this. But that's the general design for this. We're going to go for either a couple of larger energy weapons and snipe from a distance, or we're going to go with a smattering of small energy weapons plus some machine guns and do more of a harassment role. Very similar to that with the Incubus 2, it trades out an energy. We only have 3 energy now, 1 in each side torso, 1 in the arm, but now we have 5 ballistic. We have 3 in the left torso, 2 in the right torso. So basically directly we're taking an energy out of the right arm and putting it into the left torso as a ballistic. A lot of the same builds work on this one. It does the medium pulse and machine gun build a little bit better than the one, because the one needs 8 tons for the medium pulse because it needs 4 of them, where this only takes 6 tons for the medium pulse as it only needs 3 of them. And then it gets an extra, say, machine gun with its hardpoints here. It's a little bit easier on the weight, a little bit easier on the heat. So I think the Incubus 2 would be a bit better for that sort of design. But again, these are extremely similar. We can still do all the same sniping builds with the 2 energy high in the side torsos and such. Moving on to the Incubus 3, we have a total of 2 energy, 1 in each side torso, 4 ballistic, 2 in each side torso, and then we have missile for the first time, 2 in the right arm. So you can do very similar designs for this compared to the other ones. You can put in a little bit larger energy weapons and go snipe. You can put in pulse lasers or heavy lasers and have machine gun backup. Like you could even do like 2 heavy large lasers and some machine guns, and that would do a fair amount of damage as well. But what you can do as well is more of that sort of drive-by striker mentality, where you could put a pair of SERM 6s in this right arm. Now, they do have streaks in here to start, which you could also do as sort of like a light hunter. Take your machine guns and your energy, tie them together, do something like medium pulse or some sort of small energy weapon, combined with some machine guns, have that under like a single left click weapon group, as machine guns and energy are both hit scan, so they work really well when you combine them. And then in your right arm have that either regular SRMs for the splat or the streak SRMs, and go light hunting in these things. As you can get a pair of streak 6, track down some people, throw in a BAP so that you can hunt down ECM mechs. Seems pretty reasonable. Moving into the reinforcements, we're going to see if these ones can do builds that the standard pack cannot, and whether or not those are just obviously better than the standard pack or just equivalent but different. For the 4, we just have the pure energy bow. We have the 3 energy in each side torso and the 1 energy in the right arm. So you can do various things, like you could do the 6 ER mediums, you could shave down armor on the arms and get more heat sinks to make that more heat efficient. The Jenner 2C can already do 6 ER mediums. It's a little toasty when it does it, but it's all in the arms, so that you have to have those fully armored. You can't take the arms down to almost nothing and gain another heatsink or 2 out of that. So it would probably be a little bit more heat efficient comparatively to, say, the Jenner 2C versions, but still it is going to be fairly similar. You can also do things where you could have a single heavy large and several ER mediums and do more of like a laser vomit alpha type thing. But overall, it's an equivalent build for the other ones. It's not anything spectacularly powerful, and compared to other lights that are available to us, you want to compare these against things like the Piranha and such, and the Arctic Cheetah. It's not like it overpowers those mechs. The Arctic Cheetah has the ECM and has the jump jets, which gives it that flare. So this is going to be more like a ground pounder with maybe a little bit higher alpha sort of feeling compared to those. The Incubus 5, we have a total of 3 energy, 2 in the left torso, 1 in the right torso, 4 ballistic, 2 in each torso, and then 1 missile. This is extremely similar to the 3 here, except that we're trading a missile for an energy. A lot of the builds are going to be very similar to what the 3 can do. We only have the 1 missile there, so we could try to do like a single SRM6 or a single L Streak 6 on it. It gets a little messy because I don't like doing single missiles alone, specifically for SRMs, as I feel like that's a little too weak to dedicate an entire weapon system to. But you could do things like it has on here stock, it has an ATM. Maybe like a fast flanking ATM something on it could work. You could put a fairly big ATM and just have the rest of the stuff be light machine guns and ER smalls and such as backup. Wouldn't just try to rely entirely on a nice big ATM as your main damage source. Could be interesting. But I feel like this one would be better served as just ignoring the missile completely and just doing the same sort of build as you would do with the 2 or the 1 with medium pulse or heavy mediums or things along those lines and machine guns. Still, decent mech, pretty much equivalent to the other ones that we have had before. And now the SA, the Saber, who uniquely has the most missile hardpoints, so it is the best at the sort of striker drive-by shooting mentality. We have 2 energy weapons, 1 in each side torso, 3 ballistic, 1 in the left torso, 2 in the right torso, and now 3 missile, 1 in the CT, 2 in the right arm. Now, thankfully, these are clan missiles, which means that the SRM6s with Artemis are only 2 slots, so we can actually fit that in the center torso. If this was IS, you couldn't fit that there because it would be 3 slots, and so you'd be stuck to either a standard SRM6 or a 4 with Artemis. So thankfully that is fine. You can put an SRM6 with Artemis in here, so you could do stuff like triple SRM6 with Artemis, a couple ER smalls, a few machine guns, and just go with that. It is definitely the one you want to do for the drive-by shooting, where all of these ones over here do most of their damage through mass energy weapons and machine guns, which are like face-time intensive weapons. You need to be staring at your opponent for the duration of the laser burn, or for the entire time when you're using machine guns in order to get your damage on them. The Saber is going to be the best for the run-by tactics, as you can just look at someone, fire off a couple lasers, maybe those are like a paramedium pulse and some missiles, and that's it. That's all you put on this thing. Fire off your paramedium pulse, fire your SRM6s, and then look away and run away immediately afterwards. Could work quite nicely. It's no way I feel like overpowered compared to what's in the game now or compared to the other variants here. It's just different, so I don't have any pay to win or pay to optimize concerns across these mechs. But let us pop back up to the top here and just look at the concept art, talk about its possible hitboxes. We've already stated before that this cockpit is extremely high on the mech. These hardpoints are extremely high on the mech. It's unknown whether or not they'll stay up there. The PGI has done this a few times, specifically, say, recently with the Blood Asp, where it has a great big shoulder mount, but the side torso and such that have multiple hardpoints, like the multiple ballistics side torso, starts to have those ballistics placed down further on the chest. So while it does show everything here, will they all stay up there? Or will they, say, be like an energy here, and then an energy here, and then an energy here, coming sort of down the chest? All in all, it's not really a mech that you have to worry that much about that because it has such high mobility, such high speed. When you're playing something like the Blood Asp and you have this real big difference of where things are, you're like, damn, that sucks because I'm really slow to peek over a hill and then I fire and then I'm really slow to get back into cover. So not having to go forward as far as you need to is useful because then you can just be like, I just barely peek and then get back down and it's fast. But with something like this, your mech is so agile, you can just peek the whole mech, you can fire and then you can disappear again before an enemy has a chance to react, which is typically what lights can do. But even so, having these so high up will make this thing a stupidly annoying ER large laser sniper because at long range, you're sitting like 800, 900 meters away from the battle and you've got your targeting comp and you've got your skill tree maxed out for range and all that stuff. And you get a pair of ER large lasers up there and you're just going like, heh, 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 sort of thing. Because you can see the other end of the field and all they see is just this tiny little bump. And it's like a pixel for them. So it's going to be hard to countershoot this thing if it's in that pure sniper role on like, say, Polar Highlands. So that's going to be kind of fun with this. If we think about the hitboxes, this is a fairly vertical mech. It's a humanoid. I feel like it's going to be similar durability to the Arctic Cheetah because it's going to have a similar body shape and style and size as well because it's the same weight. So that works out. I think it's going to be a durable little guy. Its legs look big, which may be that they will be easy to leg. We don't know. Of course, this is prior to any quirk information, but I don't think this thing really needs many quirks, and I don't expect it to get any because it's a clan battle mech, which is literally the best combination of things in this game. So yeah, I think this is a good mech. It could be a viable replacement for an Arctic Cheetah if you don't want that. If you want something that is more ground poundy, maybe a little bit more firepower than Arctic Cheetah, without the like jump jets and ECM that it has, you can go with an Incubus. But otherwise, that's going to be it. I think it's a worthwhile mech. And thanks for watching, and good hunting.